Hello everybody, welcome back to Target Forge. Today's video is a little bit different than what I normally put out. I wanted to talk about electronic scope fatigue. I don't know if it's a thing or not. It's something that I have observed. I have two very nice rifles. I have a Crown that has a Sidewinder, Hawk Sidewinder on it, which is a beautiful piece of glass. And I can sit behind that scope for hours and hours and hours and just dump tin after tin of pellets through it, and I feel great afterwards. This ATN 5-20 4K Pro is a very nice scope. Don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking the scope. It does a very nice job for what it's designed to do. But honestly, if you've got to spend a lot of time looking through it, I find it fatiguing. I find after 45 minutes or so, I'm just about done with my shooting session. And with really good glass, I don't have that problem. So I'd like to find out, does anybody else observe slightly more fatigue using electronic scopes versus high quality glass? I'd like to know. I think it's a neat conversation to have. I still believe that for hunting, both day and night, this is an amazing tool. It records. You don't have to mess around with any kind of external optics to get a recording through it. The one thing I will critique ATN on is that the recording doesn't show the reticle in the same scale or even the same reticle that you used while you were shooting. And I got to believe that's just firmware, but I don't know. I don't know their system well enough to comment on it. But anyway, I would prefer to see the same reticle in the video footage. But anyway, I like it. As far as the bells and whistles go, it's got all of that and more. Battery life is amazing. I've never sat behind it long enough to have it run out of battery. It's always been really good. So on those topics, it's great. Once you get used to the menus and stuff, you can navigate it pretty quickly. Do spend time with it though if you're going hunting. You should have 20 or 30 hours behind that, using it, doing everything you want to with it in the field, so that you're not fumbling around trying to figure it out in a stressful environment. Learn it first. But anyway, it's coming off. It's coming off this Impact. This is an Impact Mark II that I bought just before the Power Plenum kit came out, sadly. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about this scope fatigue, and what I'm doing to remedy it. Now, I'm going to show you what I got. Yep, it's an Element. I did not go with the Nexus, I went with the Titan. And I have to say, this optic is just outstanding. In fact, if Matt or Ted were within 20 feet of me right now, I would probably kiss both of them square on the mouth, because this thing is kick-ass. For the money, it is remarkably clear, amazingly well made. I cannot wait to play with the turrets on this thing, although I did get Ted's reticle. Don't hate on me, Matt. I do like a quick field expedient means of sighting in if I have to. But this is what's going on, this gun in place of the ATN. I'm not going to get rid of the ATN, because there's still times when I might use this for some night work. But honestly, most of my night hunting that I do here on the farm is purely pest control, and it's almost exclusively rats and mice. I find that using a red spotlight and a red dot on my little Benjamin Woods Walker is the #1 pest solution for me. Rats and mice can't see in the red spectrum, so it's just like having night vision. You can see, they can't. You have the advantage. I put a bait cup out there. The bait cup gives me a couple of advantages. Number one, it brings the rats where I want them, and it gives me control over the backstop. I know where my pellets are going because they're all coming into the bait cup to eat, and I can control that shot very well at night in the dark and not injure any other animals. But anyway, ATN's coming off. I've got a lot more product to test for you guys, and that means pumping a lot of pellets through this FX Impact and my crown as well. This crown is going on this to replace the ATN. By crown, I mean just high point in scope design as far as I'm concerned. I'm totally stoked with that. One of the other things that I've done, some of you may have noticed, I had this Saber Tactical bottle clamp, and I've had people ask me where I got it, and I got it where I get everything else, Utah Air Guns. Never had a problem with this moving on the bottle, but what I have had issues with is the bottle turning. If you torque it in the way that the threads loosen, your bipod can cause the bottle to spin. And that to me is unnerving. Never been a risk. I mean, it's never gone more than 10 or 15 degrees before I've seen it and put it back. But to me, anything that torques on that bottle with 4,500 PSI in it, I know the safeties are there and it's got a check valve in it and all that, but it just unnerves me. So I got rid of this. But I did replace it with another piece of Saber Tactical hardware, and that is the compact rail, which is Arca in the back. And I did just get a new Arca tripod. And Picatinny on the front, where I've got this bipod mounted, and I did get a much better bipod for this. And unfortunately, Utah Air Guns has back ordered it on me, but hopefully we'll get it soon enough. But we're going to transition this bike from it, or this gun from its night fighting mode to a pure daytime solution for putting a lot of pellets downrange. And I'm not going to go through the whole scope mounting thing. You guys, there's 80 gazillion videos on YouTube that go over how to mount a scope. But I will point out, I did get the FX No Limit rings to put this on with, and I am totally jazzed on continuing the upgrades to this gun. Thanks for watching, and if you would, please leave a comment down below on what you think about this scope fatigue issue. Has anybody else observed it? Do you notice it? Is it something I'm just being overly dramatic about? But I would say, before you offer an opinion, spend the time behind both and see which one you feel better after shooting. That's all I got. Be a light in the darkness. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.